hate this shit. Oh, wait, I can't swear right away. I'll
Dude,
probably.
here, how about, enough of you. Here, I'll start us off. Welcome to the My Friend Tim podcast. How's that?
It's pretty crappy. Here, I can do better. Welcome to the My Friend Tim podcast.
Okay.
See how it just flowed way smoother.
Welcome to the My Friend Tim podcast. How's that sound?
Yeah, you sound like a whole nother person, Tim.
Very confidence boost.
So today, Tim was. You know what Tim did? Tim is pushing. He's pushing me. He's really pushing for his own benefits. So.
Oh, I'm sorry. I started you 10 minutes earlier.
Tim, all I needed was 10 minutes. You didn't give me 10 minutes to finish what I was doing.
We're starting at the time we agreed at anyway. It takes us 10 minutes to prepare, so we should plan
Tim,
for
quit playing with whatever you're playing. I can hear some knocking. Stop. God.
I didn't realize the microphone is that sensitive, okay? I'm sorry.
Maybe you should quit playing with something. Dub, bro.
What? You know what? Move on. Go.
That was a little... Sorry. So, first off, I want to plug something right away, Tim. Can you guess what I'm going to plug?
No. Plug
the socials. It's the socials, Tim. So
social security numbers?
Yeah, 556788974 is Tim's, guys. Go steal his credit card and stuff.
That's not true, guys. Okay, moving on.
Okay, so follow the Instagram, guys. I cannot stress this enough. You guys need to start asking some questions. All right? My Friend Tim podcast on Instagram. It's just no spaces. No spaces. It's just My Friend Tim podcast, and no capitals. It's just that, and then Twitter, My Friend Tim pod, and then YouTube, My Friend Tim podcast. All right, got it?
Did you say
Tim.
YouTube?
Yeah, I said YouTube. Do you believe this, Tim? We have a YouTube?
I don't believe
it. Yeah, we're uploading this crappy podcast on YouTube.
Crappy?
Yeah.
I would
crappy.
say 50% of it is crappy. The 50% that belongs
50% to you.
50% is going to Kody. No, take you backsies.
It's you. Okay. All right, let's get into some topics here, Tim. So, I won't. What?
Go ahead.
What?
Go ahead.
So, have you heard of what testicuzzi is? Do you know what a testicuzzi is, Tim?
Testicuzzi sounds like a fish. Am I right?
No, you're not right. Do you know what a jacuzzi is?
No.
You don't know what a jacuzzi is?
I'm pulling your strings. I know what a jacuzzi is.
Can you put two and two together?
Testicles and jacuzzi.
Yeah. Can't be that hard. It's a jacuzzi for your testicles, Tim.
I don't get it.
So...
That's disgusting.
You know how a normal jacuzzi looks, right? There's a little dip in there for your legs and stuff. So it's like that, but it's way scaled down to the size of your balls.
Oh, so pretty big for me, maybe a little thing for you.
Oh, it only comes in one size, Tim. I'm sorry. You'll probably have to smush it in there, and it'll probably be painful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The things people like me have to deal with.
So, can you guess the price of a testicuzzi?
I'm gonna highball it. I'm gonna say $300.
$300. All right. You want me to give you the on sale price or the clear or the just retail price of it?
Give me the retail.
It's $95, Tim.
That's a steal.
Yeah, that is a steal. What do you think?
Dude,
I think
hold
it's a
on. Let me pull up
ripoff. I think it's a
let me pull up
ripoff, Tim.
Why would it be a ripoff? Don't these things a regular jacuzzi?
Let's say you have a jacuzzi. You have a regular jacuzzi, right?
Mm-hmm.
Say you just have one. You don't need a testicuzzi because it already like soaks your balls in. You still soaks your whole body.
Think
What would
about
you
it.
need
Like, what's the one part of your body that one could argue needs the most care and comfort and overall satisfaction? It's your balls and your penis.
I'm so sorry, Tim, but you cut off there. So let's just keep going on another tangent, another bit. So, all right. I think so. Testacuzzis, right? I think it's a scam. If you already have a jacuzzi or a normal bath, and you take a nice bath, it already soaks your balls, right? And then I think your last point was that if your body is like the main thing your body needs to take care of is the balls. And I kind of do agree with that because like if you get kicked in the balls, it hurts the most, right? It
Yep.
has like the most pain in your body.
Most sensitive point in your body. Yep.
Yeah.
The most
Like
cared, which it should be the most cared for part. There should be an entire jacuzzi dedicated
yes.
to that area.
It's actually on sale right now for $69.69, Tim.
Dude, that's pretty sweet. That's pretty sweet.
Wow. Is that funny? Is that funny, Tim?
Funny. I was just practicing my squirrel sounds.
That's those are weird squirrel sounds. Hey, my squirrel
Yeah,
sounds.
yeah.
Chicken
Sure.
that.
Yeah, I thought.
Okay. I am sorry for interrupting the podcast. I know it's pretty entertaining, but I have a quick word from our sponsor, from Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. First of all, it's free, and everyone loves a free thing. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer, and you don't need that clunky hardware or the expensive software. And Anchor will also help you distribute your podcast for you, and it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. And Anchor will help you bring your podcast to those platforms, which is awesome. And then you can actually make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. That means if from the first viewer of the podcast, from the first listener, you can start making money right away. You don't need like a minimum, like 10 people to listen before you make a cent. You get it. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Once again, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Thank you, Anchor, for sponsoring the podcast. So we have a main topic for this episode. All right.
What's that?
We'll lay it on you. You want me to lay on you?
What the heck? No. Lay the topic on me.
This guy's weird, guys. You believe him?
Moving on.
All right, so we're talking about government, like world government, mainly the U.S. Because it's been in the news, right? And
The news, what?
the protesting. I don't
Protesting.
think we should, Tim. I think we should talk about it. It's a big deal, Tim. And if we just ignore it, just like drive right past it, that's the problem, Tim. There's no awareness. That's the whole problem. That's why they're protesting. No one cares. So I think we need to talk about this.
All right, I'll hear you. I'll hear you.
Okay, you'll have to ask. You'll have to make some good points too, Tim.
That's what I do, Cody. That's my main thing. You're like,
Yeah,
oh,
I believe you, Tim. I
we need
believe you.
we
I
need
believe
Tim
you can make some good points.
we need Tim to say something. We need someone to say something really smart, and then they're like, oh, call up Tim.
And then he's like, yeah, and then he says something that's totally off topic. It's pretty smart for that off topic.
Yeah, well, it has its uses.
Okay, so I want to start off with the protests. Black Lives Matter, Tim. We can't ignore it, right?
Okay.
If we've been trying to speed right past it here, we should talk about it. So they're protesting everywhere now in like many states, and there's peaceful protests, right? And then there's riots, there's looting, and frankly, I support peaceful protests, but there's looters. You can't really stop looters or any rioters, right? You can't really stop them because what are you gonna do? Shoot them? Not every business owner owns guns, and I think the police are probably gonna arrest the business owners like faster than the looters because they're shooting people,
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so I support the peaceful protests, but I've seen like TikTok, right? It's TikTok, Twitter. It's like a big thing because it's like been popping off on Twitter and TikTok,
Yep.
And so in the comments, I've seen all these people. They're all making different points. Some I agree with, some I disagree with. But mainly the things I disagree with is hey, these riots, this is the only way our voice is gonna be heard, right?
Yep.
And I disagree with that because if you like MLK, but mainly MLK, right? Martin Luther King.
Who?
Now you don't have to agree with Martin Luther King Jr. You don't know who that is?
I thought you meant senior. Okay, I was confused.
Are you kidding me, Tim? Not the time.
All
So
right.
Martin Luther King's ideals, right, is peaceful protest, and a lot of people took some of his quotes and like just spun it for their own like kind of benefits, like, oh, we're looting and rioting, or I mean rioting, looting, kind of separated. They want it to be separate because like looters, they don't want them to be the rioters. I don't know, protesters. I don't know. Maybe rioters are looters. I'm not super educated on this.
Okay.
So Martin Luther King, he stood by peaceful protests, peaceful gatherings and marchings,
Okay.
And people took his quote. He said, "Riots are the voice of the unheard," right? But then they only took the first part, which is like a big problem in today's media because people take words out of context, right? People take stories and things and spin it. They take it out of context. It's a big problem in today's kind of world, right? If you see you see a video of a black guy like not specifically a black guy, but this is a big problem. Let's just say a black male, right? You see
Yep.
him kind of like kind of verbally like accusing the officer of like, why are you arresting me? Why are you arresting me? And then it looks like the officer is like putting him in under arrest, right? And then the black guy's kind of like saying like, what the heck? Why are you doing this? I didn't do anything. But that part gets cut off. So you're just saying, oh, he probably did something wrong, right? And then it gets cut out of context. So you think he did something wrong, but instead he didn't do anything wrong. That cop is actually kind of racist, right?
Yep. Yep.
All right. So back to the point, MLK. I've seen a lot of people on TikTok, mainly TikTok, because I use that mainly. I go to Twitter sometimes, but I'm on TikTok most of the time, majority compared to Twitter. So people say, "Oh, it's the voice on the unheard," right? But there's also people on the another side of the argument. They're saying, "Oh, we don't stand by MLK. We stand by Malcolm X, who's a protested riots, right? Stood by
Yep.
rioting, like violence solves issues. I mean, in some cases, yeah, like violence does solve issues, right? But
Yep.
the thing is, it's like we're like wars, right? Wars, we're always fighting each other. It's violence, right? But that's against other countries. But here, it's like a second civil war because we're fighting against ourselves, right? If
Mm-hmm.
we're rioting like violently. Oh no, I just don't stand by it. What is your opinion, Tim?
Oof. Big. It's big opinions to be had here.
Where's the good points, Tim?
I would
I'm calling
say.
Tim for the good points. Look, I'm calling you for the good points, Tim. Where's the good
Yeah, I
points?
gotta live up to the reputation here. So,
I want to play devil's advocate here.
yeah, I'll play devil's advocate. Okay, I'd
Tell
say
me
that
why writing is right.
I would say that sometimes, for a lot of years, the Black Lives Matter movement has been doing like peaceful protests, but they haven't really like worked because there's still like police murders and racial like crimes going on. So rioting is just what it's come to, just to get their
I'm
voices out.
sorry, Tim. You're kind of cutting out. You
Oh,
just repeat that again. Repeat that all again.
the whole thing. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm
I don't
gonna.
know if I'll just cut this out if it actually didn't cut out. Maybe it just cut out for me. I don't know. You just
Okay,
repeat it again.
I'm gonna say to be devil's advocate here. I'd say for a lot of years, the Black Lives Matter movement and such did do peaceful protesting, but
Mm-hmm.
people didn't care and they just kind of ignored them or criticized them even for the peaceful protests. So
Okay,
rioting,
yeah.
the rioting is kind of or uh, getting their point across through like destroying things or more like extreme methods is what it's come down to.
I don't.
Like
Okay.
the football player Colin Kaepernick, he kneeled. That was a pretty peaceful protest. Like he kneeled during the anthem, but people
Yeah.
were angry at him. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but
Can I
people were
talk
still
about?
angry at
All
him.
right. So next, I want to talk about the 45th. You know what that means?
No.
President. 45th president. Donald, my man, Donald.
All right, all right.
What do you think? How do you think he's performed in office?
Goodness, you're making me open a jar of worms on the podcast here for anybody to listen to, Kody, at any time.
Yeah, this is our opinions. They can disagree. Okay, you can
Okay.
disagree with us. We're just having a debate kind of thing style. We can respect each other's opinions. If you like Donald Trump, I respect that. Right?
I don't hate him. I'm not like, oh, this is the worst guy ever. But sometimes he comes across as unprofessional to me with some of his like tweets.
That is, yeah. So what I've been seeing is like, since I am kind of Asian, right? I'm Asian.
You are?
I'm not kind of Asian. Yeah, I am Asian. So, as an Asian American, then you see Donald Trump tweeting Chinese virus. As an Asian American, don't you feel, I feel kind of personally attacked? Because yes, it originated in China, but if he says like Chinese virus, right? And then there's violence against China Americans, Asian Americans, and Chinese Americans, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you continue to say it, which he actually did. He sees like all this violence against like Americans, Chinese, Asian Americans, Chinese Americans, and then he's like, he continues saying it, even though he knows it probably causes this violence.
So he's, instead of just calling it by its name, he's kind of giving it a name that blames China. There you go.
Yeah, he's actually like, he probably gets like a kind of script thing, right? Because he's like the president. Gets a script each time he like addresses an issue, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he's intentionally editing the script because it definitely says COVID-19, right?
Yep.
So he's replacing that word with Chinese virus,
Mm-hmm.
China virus. So I don't know about that. I think it kind of supports the fact that he's kind of a racist, right?
Yeah, I would say there's probably something going on there.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, you know what I believe? I think he just wants to get reelected.
Yeah.
He's not like I don't think he's trying super hard right now. Because even with the George Floyd riots, I'm gonna say his name here, name drop, because let his name be heard, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna censor it, bro. So he didn't really address it at all. Really, I went on his Twitter. I just saw that like, oh, so he literally said National Guard. Send the National Guard in there, right? So he wants to get the protesters out. He doesn't even really support it, really, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think he's like trying to get the rioters out, but no, they kind of attacking the protesters too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have all the facts and figures. So, all right. Also, next, the police, right?
Yep.
Now, the police system, that's the thing they're trying to change. That's what they want the change to be. And they actually did it, right? In Minneapolis.
Mm-hmm.
They're reinstating the police force thing, and then they're doing like some sort of community-led police force. Like caters to the community more,
Yeah.
Yeah, and then if that works, I think they'll probably like adapt it to other counties and then start adapting it to other states. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, what do you do? You think the police are like doing anything wrong? Personally,
I I think that there's there are I agree that there are like a lot of good cops and there are some bad ones, but it's a system where if you have a bad apple, what people say, it has a lot of consequences because they have guns and they have the authority to like hurt people and
mm-hmm.
stuff. So there's definitely it's definitely more than just looking at a couple bad cops. There's something in the structure that probably needs to be changed of the police system.
Yeah, it's because if that like incident or not incident, murder, that literal murder, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't filmed. That guy would have gotten off easy, right?
Yeah, I
Would
doubt.
become like a national news story.
Mm-hmm.
And that guy was just let off easy. Probably just lost his job, not even charged. That's happened to like many other officers.
Or maybe not even
Like,
that. Maybe he would have just said that uh, if there's
oh
nobody
yeah, he tried to
around.
attack me because no
Yeah.
one was recording. He tried to attack me, right?
Mm-hmm.
These cops, they swear under an oath to protect and serve the citizens of the United States. And guess what? They're out here like spinning these details and making like just saving their own butts, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so what I think is police need more training, you need more screening. You need more wellness checks or make them take a quiz even. Do you like African Americans? Do you think they should be killed for being their color, skin color? To make them take this quiz or something. I don't know. Can you screen them for being racists? Like, check their backgrounds more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or yeah,
I'm getting kind of heated here, Tim.
what can I add to that? So what do you think of the new policies? Like, it's more of just like, from what I take away from it, it's more police aren't the ones responding to everything. There are more factions or divisions of community led like enforcement that take care of different things instead of just cops coming to everything. You know?
You think? All right, I think like vigilantes. I'm kidding,
You think of
but
like,
I think it sounds pretty cool, right?
mm-hmm.
You have like Spider-Man, not Spider-Man, Daredevil or something coming in, saving people. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. It's not. I don't think it's possible because you know
Yeah,
community led. There's people like I haven't heard really anything about like vigilantes and like fighters.
no,
That really doesn't exist in today's society. It's more of a comic book superhero type thing, you know?
yeah, more of a
So
fantasy.
I don't know what they mean by community led though. Do you know?
Or like another thing I took away from like reading about it was you take like all the money that's being like used for like all this like
Oh yeah,
expensive,
the
yeah,
police force
like
and like
they
equipment and stuff.
yeah, because they spend a large amount of money every year.
Yeah, because like the standard PD police department doesn't really
Mm-hmm.
need that like much equipment to like detain
No,
like
so one
a
could say that
criminal,
they're
right?
over yeah, they're overfunded. So
Yeah.
people say that you take the money that you used on the all that money that you used on the
Literally
police
like
and you put it more
okay.
towards efforts to like go ahead.
Yeah, I think police systems right now, they're really like not corrupted. They're not I mean, they're corrupted kind of because they're not training
Mm-hmm.
their officers right. I've seen videos of like people getting like pulled over for just like kind of small things like speeding. Usually just get a ticket 5 miles an hour, right? If you go five
But
miles
so
an hour, all you get is a
yeah,
ticket, right? All you should get is a ticket. So if you just kind of argue with the police, right? I've seen the police pull guns on people just for like arguing. Like these police officers can't handle just like a small conversation, small like
no,
debate or
they're some
yeah,
of
they
them are
really get
they're
some of
trigger
them are
happy
like really yeah, trigger happy kind of
or
like
just
and
violent people who now have like authority, you know.
yeah, they're some of them are going like power trips.
But what I was saying
Going like power
before
trips, yeah.
is you take some of the money that's being dedicated to the police and you put it
Hmm.
towards like projects that like help people like like that would help like criminals or like the help communities where
What?
okay, no,
Help criminals.
no, not help people like
You're robbed this
no.
bank.
Please don't rob. Use this money. No, that's not what I'm saying. Like stopping people from becoming criminals through like helping like people who are in financial need and stuff in the community, so they don't have
I
to
know
rob
what
a
you
bank.
mean.
You know?
I know what you mean. Because like,
Mm-hmm.
if you really don't have any other option, I mean, you kind of have. Some people kind of maybe you don't have the right mindset and just turn to crime. If you like really don't
Yeah.
get to that position in the first place, you wouldn't have to turn to that option.
No. Yeah, that's the idea.
Yeah. That's smart. So
It's messed up.
next, I want to talk about what were we talking about? The police system. Yeah. So I've seen like a lot of cams, and then the police more often than not, they're like it's like injustice, even though like they stand for justice. There's a lot of injustice in the system, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've seen like people like, oh, you pull a taser, you pull a pepper spray on a guy who doesn't seem like he's dangerous, right? He's like, I don't have a gun. I don't have a gun in my car, right? And he's
Mm-hmm.
like, I've seen people like reach for their cell phones and they're like, I'm reaching for my cell phone. And they draw guns on them because they think they're drawing a gun out.
Yeah.
And, okay, I don't think they get enough training either because I've seen videos of like police literally shaking and they're like scared. They fear for their life. That like, did you know like you need more training to become a barber than a police officer and holding a gun that could kill someone?
Oh,
You need
really?
more training to be a barber, giving someone a haircut.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's true. They definitely need more training. At least like a year or two of training, right? They
Yeah.
only they only have to have 8 months to train me. I heard. I don't know if it's correct. I heard it's like probably 8 months.
Maybe. I think it might be like a year or two though. It probably depends where you are or whatever.
They do need more training because like you don't even the people who join the military, they
Yep.
like they go through all this like mental training, right? Too
Mm-hmm.
right? Because like you're at the boot camp and then the sergeant's yelling at you, making you do push-ups and stuff. You have to like physically and mentally endure that. So
Mm-hmm. Well,
then
I would say
people in the
that
military get way more of that too, right? Because they
yeah,
train so much in the military.
yeah.
Like
I
once
don't
you
know.
get
I would
once
say
you
that
get out
like
of like
go ahead.
officer boot camp, right?
Yeah.
Once you get off of officer boot camp, then they just that's it. Then no more training. Kind of. I don't know the
Yeah.
major facts. I don't know if
Well, I
this
would
is
say they.
accurate.
I don't know if it's a training thing because I know that they do get a lot of like boot camp type things. Like they get like tased and pepper sprayed and stuff, and they have to like. But maybe
But it's
like.
not really mental training, right?
But yeah, it seems like sometimes, not definitely not all the time, but when a cop is put in like he's scared, he's trigger happy,
Yeah. Don't
or
you think they're like put
or if the
for the
or if the cop is a bad person and was recruited, he's he's targeting he's targeting like people he did like races and types of people he doesn't agree with, and now he has the authority and he has the gun and he has the law, or he has the respect, people's respect, and he can kind of thinks he can do whatever he wants, you know?
I think they do need more training though.
Yeah.
Cuz
Okay.
okay, getting pepper sprayed, they're like getting pepper sprayed, right? They're getting like tased. That's more like life and death situations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you're in like a physical altercation. You do need that training. I agree, right? But
Yep.
add on to that, you need like mental training. You need like, oh, this guy's like being more this guy you pulled over, he's being a little like I don't know how to say it, like hard to handle or
But the guy's
rough.
he's being a jerk to the police or whatever. But you
Yeah.
can't just be violent back to them. You gotta hire people who are good
you
people.
need to stand behind justice, right? If
You need to the
this guy,
cop should be the bigger man.
like you don't, the cop shouldn't, if you get insulted, because like cops get insulted all the time. I've seen tons of like cams, the cops insult them back. They're like, oh yeah, are you saying, they're not really insulting, they're like threatening them, right? Like, oh, you want to go to jail? I'll like send you to jail right now. Or like, I have a gun, I'll literally shoot you if you don't shut up. Right? They really can't handle it. Can't handle it at all. But you see these like military, they're trained to like not respond back, right? Or like if they're asked a question, they answer respectfully. They're not gonna like, I've seen videos of people being pulled over and they're like, oh, why am I being pulled over? They really don't answer that question. They're just saying, shut that camera off, or like running them, basically.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of injustice and like a lot of into that racial injustice too, because they're kind of getting. I don't think they're getting targeted, but they're. If you're like black, I know you'll probably like fear the police even more, because I saw this on a comment on a YouTube video. I don't know if it's super accurate, but it's like a kid. They said, not a kid. They're saying, I don't know what a kid. I don't know if it's a kid, but it just said, like when I was a kid, right? I'm like black, and then my parents, they gave me the talk that police aren't your like friends. They're not your protectors. You have to be like super careful around police. And they're all, I heard they're like black children. They're all given this talk, and then they're given this talk to fear the police, right?
So like a white person,
and it shouldn't.
Would think of them as like good, the good sides of the law.
You really see there's like
scared of them.
Kind of privilege here, right? Because like if white people don't get this talk, right? There's more privilege, in my opinion, because they don't really have to fear the police.
No.
Then honestly, some police even fear like black people, right?
Yeah.
That's why they're like getting so trigger happy. They're like so afraid for their lives. Because there's like this stereotype built in that every black guy you pull over is gonna pull out a gun on you, right? Like do something wrong.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they need more training. Some sort of military training too, like, not answer respectfully and not like threaten them. Make them scared, the guy who's like getting, if you're gonna give justice to them, don't like threaten them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're supposed to be the bigger man in that situation.
That is true.
Yep.
And then also another oh no, okay. I also wanted to kind of talk about like, do you want to keep talking about the police?
Talk about whatever. Go ahead.
Do you want to say something? Do you have anything to say?
Got nothing more to add.
Really, Tim? What was the good points?
I had several good points.
Right, I'll ask you a question.
All right.
Do you think there's injustice in the system?
Yeah, like I said, it's not a matter of bad apples. You can't have bad apples. You have to have something's got to change so that communities like the African American communities don't have to fear the police that most people respect or look up to or
I'm sorry, Tim. You're kind of cutting out. Okay. Now, onto another kind of topic. Protesting. It's the same kind of topic. But in Hong Kong, Tim. Now, over here, do you know why they're protesting?
Human rights. That's the extent of what I
Human
know.
rights. That is true. So, back here in the USA, we're kind of fighting for racial injustice, right?
Mhm.
I don't really think it's oppression because, like, I don't really know. I don't know if, like, they're getting oppressed. They have all their rights, right?
Oh yeah.
Like, I think everyone has the same rights here, but it's just like racial injustice kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
So in Hong Kong, they're fighting actually for their human rights. And CCP, Chinese Communist Party, they're having all these like, I mean, these Hong Kong protests. They have to get like, they have to get violent, right?
Yep.
And also, there's also really like some peaceful protests too, but most of them have to get violent because in China, these protests are banned, dude.
Uh huh.
In Hong Kong, because it's like controlled by the Chinese government. They're literally banned these protests. So literally the only way to get after them is like violent, right? And like the Chinese government, I think there's a lot of like censorship going on too. So
Mhm.
like if you get a journalist in China, they're like really just censored sometimes.
Yep.
And then you really can't say anything bad about the government or like president either.
Mhm. What? What? What?
When?
When? Now.
When
Now.
did I ask? Oh,
Oh, you got me.
sorry guys. I don't really have much to say about the Chinese government right now. Maybe in another episode. But Tim, you want to end it?
I insist. You take it from here. Take it from here.
Oh no, you
All
do
right.
it.
If you're not gonna end it, I'll go ahead. Bye.
Oh my god! Oh my
How's
god!
that
That
go?
was terrible. That
How's
was
that
so
go?
terrible.
Sorry,
That was
sorry, sorry.
so terrible.
Let
That
me
was
do it
so
again.
bad. That was so bad.
Bye.
Thank you guys for listening to my friend Tim podcast. Remember, follow the socials. My friend Tim podcast Instagram. My friend Tim podcast Instagram.
Bye.
Twitter is my friend Tim Pod. And then
Bye.
YouTube is my friend Tim
Oh,
podcast. And thank you guys for tuning
and
in to the My
bye.
Friend Tim.
Cut it right now. Cut. Bye.
Again for me. You're kind of cutting out again. Yeah.
You know, I'm stuttering. Just maybe you're just hearing me stutter.
I don't know.